Hi, I'm Ricky Strassman, and I've just been interviewed today by Keith Andrew, and I really think that what he is doing is a fantastic thing to open communication and just get the word out that we need to talk to each other.
Gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching Breaking Barriers. That's available on YouTube. Follow it. It's brought to you by the Keith Andrew Network, and I'm here with a good friend, Mr. Ricky, and welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. Who are wondering, what is the Keith Andrew Network? Whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities or disabilities. Never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And you prove to them you stem out to something. So hashtag break the labels. With that being said, you don't have to have disabilities to be a guest on my show. The fact you're taking the time to be on the show, you're supporting a talk show host with a disability. In return, you're making a new friend and having a half hour to share your message, whatever that would be. That being said, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Ricky Strassman. I'm a voice actor. And although I myself do not have a disability, unless you consider borderline diabetes as a disability, it doesn't impact me daily. But I am married to a woman who has been through some real ordeals with a form of arteritis that has impacted her interleukin 6. So she's on a very uh, important biologic that keeps her immune system from attacking her. And she will be on it for the rest of her life. So I am completely sympathetic and in tune with the cause you're promoting here and fully on board.
No, I appreciate that 100%. Now, the next question I want to talk to you. Well, while we're on the subject, what type of work does your wife do?
She is a scientific editor, so it is something she can do for at home. What she does is there are authors that do not have English as their primary language that are creating scientific papers around the world for publication in English speaking professional journals. They send through a clearinghouse, their articles come to her and she cleans up their English, makes sure everything's formatted properly, and gets them back to them so that they can be published in American and English speaking journals. So it's
Hey,
really important work.
hey, if she would like to be my ghostwriter, I would like to hire her when I'm available.
I'll let her know.
So the next question I want to talk to you about, I have the top 15 questions. The next one I want to ask you is, what attracted you to begin your career as a voiceover actor?
Okay, we'll kind of take a step back. I mean, in my youth, I was in every play in high school. In college, I disc jockeyed for 5 semesters. And in my working life, I've been through a number of different career paths, starting as an attorney, which I practiced for 8 years, couldn't stand it, walked away, and went into high-tech structured cabling work. Um, Basically, I worked in data centers before data centers were data centers, helped building them out. But I'm kind of losing my track here. But okay, so then COVID hit. I've also bartended and been an umpire and things. I've had a lot of positions where I'm publicly facing, and so that helps. But then in 2015, I was diagnosed with very aggressive stage 4 prostate cancer, and that changed my life. I went through a course of treatments with hormone interruption, 5 rounds of chemo, 45 doses of radiation. I have been in full remission, thank heavens, since 2016. But that changed my life. Just I had been pretty much a happy-go-lucky, take life as it comes kind of fellow, just living in Southern California and enjoying paradise, living in paradise, being a happy underachiever. I was, doing work that was easy for me to do. I was making good money. I was a single guy just living on, having, enjoying the time of my life. Cancer changed all that. It totally changed my perspective that, I really need to stop clowning around and do something with my life. Well, shortly after that, I met my soon-to-be wife in an online dating site for people over 50. And we corresponded. I was in San Diego. She was here in the Nashville area, which is where I now live. And we corresponded for for several weeks before we actually spoke in person with each other. Everything was written correspondence. So we really kind of got to know each other. So eventually I moved here to Nashville and we got married. And then COVID hit and the world kind of died. Well, I had attended just before that, we had attended a seminar. A lady from a company called Such a Voice came to town and just did like, come in and read for us and see if you might be a voice actor. So on a lark, we just went to this thing at a hotel downtown Nashville. And I got a follow-up call from the lady, Justine Rice, the next day saying she liked how I read and she asked if I would be interested in a program. On down the road, I did sign up for the program through which I got training from several working pros and that led to the creation of my commercial narration and animation / character demos. So it was really good background and training. So from that point, I've been trying to do things the right way. I mean, I've joined a couple of the demographic. I'm 70 plus. There's not a whole lot of stuff on those sites that's age appropriate or appropriate for me to get into. But I have been studying intensely. I'm working on accents and dialects with the fantastic Tom Antonellis, and we're currently studying the Upper Midwest, working on the Fargo voice. And I'm also working very hard with Debbie Irwin in the area of medical narration, because what I've decided I want to do is to focus on the non-broadcast side of things in the e-learning medical narration corporate training type of stuff. Because with my education training and background, I'm more suited to be like the instructor or the friendly guide rather than be the guy trying to sell you something in a commercial. It's just that I'm a counterculture guy. Commercial is not my go-to area. It's
No, I
what
get that.
education and training is.
I get that a lot. People are like, "Oh, what are you trying to sell me?" I'm like, "I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to show sell. I can't even speak. I'm not trying to sell you shit." And the truth is when I first approach somebody to be on the show, I'm really upfront. I'm like, "Hey, I'm a talk show host with a learning disability. I am not able to work." So I charge for my time. We can talk about that, but that'll be another subject. This is what I do to get by. This is what you get in return, an article or recommendation. Your interview will be shared on all social medias. So pretty much you're hiring me to interview you, and in return, we're collaborating where you're supporting a talk show host with a disability. In return, I'm supporting you and sharing your story. And people are like, "Oh, what are you selling?" I'm like,
Selling access.
Or one of my other favorite things, I'm being sarcastic, by the way. One of my other favorite things is like, I think you're doing a terrific thing. Let's definitely do an interview. Okay, here's the form, here's the background, here's my PayPal. Wait a minute. I
You want me
have
to
to.
pay?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, God damn it, didn't he just read what I sent you? Oh, I thought that was optional.
No.
So with that being said, was when I approached you to be a guest on my show, I usually saved it for the end, but I want you to be brutally honest. You're not saying this to me, you're saying this to our viewers. When I approached you to be a guest on the show, what made you say yes? And because I charged $22, not a big freaking deal, 22, 25, was that a big deal for you? Or was that like a red flag?
The no, the amount charged is a very reasonable small amount for the access and exposure I'm going to get from this. It's totally a bargain. So I have no problem at all with making a contribution to help keep you afloat and giving me a chance to put my word out to the people. So
And for
win-win.
people, what about when people give me a hard time about it? What do you have to say?
I say that's not their concern. What I do with my life is my thing. You know,
You can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a two by four.
yeah, two by four with a good spike in it.
So the next subject I want to talk to you about, because you mentioned this while you were talking, how has COVID impacted your life?
It impacted it in a lot of ways because obviously, as a cancer survivor, I was in the highest risk group, and my wife being disabled with her immune issues, we were both in the super highest risk group. So we really retrenched once COVID hit. We became, ever since that time, and I do it now. We grocery shop once every 2 weeks, and I do early in the morning when the crowd is when the store is as empty as possible. That kind of thing. We don't go to many crowds. Unfortunately, it's eating into things like going to concerts at the Ryman, the mother church, and we only you if you've never been to the Ryman Theater in Nashville, it is a holy experience. It really is the mother church, just acoustic perfection. And that's it's like so it's really reluctant for us to go to those kinds of big crowd events, and so it's just made us extremely cautious about how we deal with people in the world because we don't know who they are, what they've been exposed to, and what they might share with us unwittingly.
No, especially with that virus going around right now on a cruise ship.
Yeah,
Um,
the Hunter virus.
yeah, keep that shit over there.
Yeah,
Because
it's from rat and mouse droppings and urine. So apparently and it was supposedly not human to human transmissible, but I guess that's mutated, and the rats in Australia or something make it passable person to person. So yeah, it's really scary stuff.
the next, there's always going to be a pandemic, but it's you're talking about, excuse the pun, dodging a bullet. The bird flu and H1N1, and there was
Yep.
SARS. How many times are you gonna dodge a bullet until you get hit? Not saying you're gonna die from it, no, pun intended, but it's so many times you can like, move out of the way
Yeah.
until the shit hits the fan. But hopefully they get it under control. But with that being said, there's a movie coming up this June, I believe, by Steven Spielberg called Disclosure. Are you going to see that, or are you gonna wait for it to be on streaming?
I am not familiar with that one. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Disclosure is pretty much about aliens being discovered. Well, obviously they've been here for a long freaking time, so they're not really they're going to be rediscovered for the 100th time. but it's pretty much they're gonna bring aliens up front to like the media and say, oh yes, it's they are real and they are living in the oceans and undergrounds. I mean, I'm not
Ooh.
religious or anything. I'm Jewish, but that's a long story about that. Hey, yo, you want to fight about it? We can fight about it.
No, no, no.
I used to be Jewish, but I'm now spiritual. But the thing is, it's yes, God created everybody. God created the universe, and yeah, obviously God created the aliens, or aliens created us, and they created God, whatever. But the point is, it's just the fact they say, oh, aliens are not real, or there's no life on other planets. It sounds really ignorant because didn't we just say God created the universe and God created all life? Therefore speaking, there is life in space. So pretty much it's just getting people to accept the idea that yes, aliens are going to be a front. Um, there's another psychic. I can't remember his name, but I can send it to you. Where he gets possessed by an alien. It said 2027, aliens who slowly make themselves known. In 2028, they're gonna start living among us when people are ready. The truth of the matter is, we're never going to be ready for aliens walking among us. Maybe some of us are, maybe some of us aren't. But the truth of the matter is, the human race is so freaking stupid that we kill each other over mindless bullshit of road rage and drugs and the money. You sneeze the wrong way, someone's got to try to go after you. With the human race, it's going to take a long time for the human race to be okay with. Yes, hey, you maybe you're an alien, maybe I'm an alien. Who cares? But religion, I want to ask you about this. Do you think religion has a big influence on the truth of what is your opinion about if you were walking down the street with your wife and you saw an alien, would you really care about it? Because you're not supposed to judge people.
I would only care about it if it was like pointing a weapon at me,
Yeah.
you know? As long as there's no threat involved, I'm happy to talk to you, you know? Um, I don't have a universal translator, but if the guy can, we can talk symbolically or we can gesticulate, whatever. No, I'm open to communicating with other civilizations' ideas, which kind of makes me very anti-ice here at home. So, if because it's kind of along the same lines. They're treating human beings as if they were aliens from outer space, just because they look different.
That's true.
Ridiculous.
And
It's ridiculous.
let me ask you not to interrupt. I apologize. What do
Pardon?
you, I didn't mean to interrupt. I do apologize. What do you think about the missing scientists?
The the my, the ones that went up to the moon?
Oh no,
I'm all for
those are astronauts. There's 13 scientists that magically disappeared, but after they disclose of certain things, and that's another thing that irritates me. They're saying, yes, there are aliens out there. Yes, we're going to disclose it to people. Next day, they end up dead. It's like, God damn it. Which one is it? Are you telling people there's aliens and we're going to talk about it? And as soon as you say we're going to talk about it, they end up dead. So you can't,
sounds
it's not McDonald's. You can't have it your way.
yeah, it sounds like perhaps some sinister forces are keeping them trying to keep them quiet, as if perhaps there's money to be made by controlling the secret and how it's spread out, and the ones that want to make the money off it are going to decide how it gets released.
That's true. I mean, but it's kind of like, it was COVID when it first started. Oh, let's not cut Jesus. Wear a mask. Next day, don't wear a mask. Next day, wear a mask. And Fauci, it's like, don't come on freaking TV with different multiple stories. Come on TV when you're 100%. This is what you have to do. And Fauci was having diarrhea of the mouth. Well, one day he's this, one day he's that. And it's like, if your idea is to confuse people, hey man, mission complete you because you really, you know, turned everything upside down.
It's an assault on truth.
It is.
It's an assault on truth, and when you can't believe anything, you'll believe anything.
But
You know,
that's it.
it's just destroying the ability to reason for yourself because, well, is it true? Is it not? I don't know. But, kind of talking about the masking and whatnot, I'm just wondering if COVID were to return and ICE was doing street operations, would they refuse to wear COVID masks but still keep on hide their identity masks?
It's funny you should mention that because I'm a big supporter of New York for All and Melt. Melt, no, I'm not into the whole politics. But I think New York for All is supposed to give you like Medicare for everyone. Everyone's supposed to be covered. Melt is
Oh,
supposed to be, don't correct me on this, I could be wrong. Melt is supposed to be ICE agents who would not hide their face. And they are supposed to show their faces. I'm really against. I support ICE as in it should be done the right way. But let's be
yes,
honest. When is anything done the right way?
very rarely. No, the right way to do this is traditional policing. You get information about a particular individual, where that individual may be found. You go to a judge, you get a warrant. You go with a small one or two people and you go arrest a guy. You don't send 5 SUVs to arrest one 60-year-old little Mexican guy who's been selling tacos on the street.
No, I agree. The whole thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and, but I mean, the Supremes have authorized. Well, you look brown, go ahead, and we can pull you in.
Well, let me ask you while on the subject, what is white privilege? Because I always hear it, and I think that's the most stupidest thing I ever heard.
Okay, my understanding of what white privilege is the fact, essentially, the fact that you were born white gives you privileges that no one else gets. Just by the color of your skin. You go into a store, you don't get the questioning looks. You, it, it's just baked into this society, unfortunately, that white faces are okay and the other ones are to be questioned.
Yeah, but look at how many white serial killers there are, or white
Right.
racists or rapists out there. That doesn't mean anything.
Look, I've got a theory. All this MAGA stuff
Yeah,
is really the last hurrah for all these white male chauvinist pigs, basically.
yeah.
The world it had really advanced so that under Obama, we had gotten to a point where we were really getting in a non-racial society. Gay marriage was legal. Everyone's rights were being, it was the idea of everyone has rights. Everyone is a person. Let them be themselves. And unless they're somehow interfering with your rights, let people be. Just let them be themselves. And
Yeah,
now these MAGAs are like, no, no, no. We need to be in control. If it's not the white guys running the whole show, then we're going to lose our power. And and they have this fear that once they're out of power, they'll be treated like they treated everyone else, where everyone else does not want to treat them badly. They just want to be everyone treated equally across the board. I call it live qualitarianism.
well, for me, I'm not a big fan of the LT. Well, I have gay friends. Okay, that doesn't bother me. I'm not a big fan of the whole trans thing. But with that being said, live your life as long as you're happy. That's all that matters. It
Right.
doesn't affect me. As long I want, if you're trans, I want you to be happy. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. Go with your wife. Do what it doesn't put a roof over my head. It doesn't put food on the table. It does not affect me. So
Yeah.
do what you do. But you're yeah, I find it really interesting when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna round up Odie and Wiggles and send them back." But I find it really funny where the Native Americans say, "Okay, when are you leaving?"
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's a funny story for you. We had a
Okay.
tree that was hanging near my house, and this woman, my neighbor, came out of the house screaming, Don't cut down the trees. Those are my trees." I'm like, okay, well, if this tree falls on my house and it's your tree, does that mean I get to sue you if the tree falls on my house? So we called it yeah, the tree service to have a tree removed. And it happened enough that he happened to be Native American. So he said to my dad, "It's not his tree, it's not your tree, it's my tree because I've been here longer than you people." And
Amen to that.
and he said, "If it does fall and it's your tree, then yes, he has the right to sue you because it's your your tree, it's overhanging his my house, and if it falls on my house and does damages, whose tree is it?" At that point, she storms away, but it's kind of like people like to stick their noses in things, and it's kind of like, yes, like you said, you're rounding up black people and Spanish people. Let me ask you, you know what? It's really interesting. No
Hmm.
Native American people. And no pun intended about rounding up them. I love
Yeah.
Native Americans. They don't round up Native Americans. They don't round up Asian people. Why is it only black and Spanish?
Uh, well, one thing too is these power structure is overwhelmingly Protestant.
Yeah.
Brown people are overwhelmingly Catholic.
Again, so it comes down to Holy Witches thing.
Yeah, but see, well, but what I've seen, what I've figured out is the difference between conservatives and progressives.
Yeah.
Conservatives say, I don't like this, so you can't do it. Where progressives say, do your own thing as long as you ain't messing with me. And that the twain just will not meet.
No, I agree. It's like I used to work over at Walmart, and I'm a friendly person. I have diarrhea of the mouth. Guilty of that. My sister thinks I'm a narcissist, and actually, it's kind of funny about that. It came up on this TikTok thing about different months. What are you? And it said people in January are narcissists and like to talk about themselves. And I'm like, first off, I don't have my head up my ass, so I don't like talking about myself. And I'm not really a narcissist, or maybe I am. I'm just blind to it. But the fact is, actually, I just completely forgot what the thought was. So anyway, it doesn't matter. We can always do that for part two.
Yeah. I hate when my train of thought derails.
I'm kind of like a cat when I see something shiny. I'm like, oh, what's over there?
Ooh, pretty object.
But we are definitely like do a part two. But I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest in my talk show, what made you say yes when you short a message? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now?
I felt that it was an opportunity to, you know, when you talk about you interview celebrities and emerging talents, I am definitely on the emerging talent side of that ledger. So in the old any pub is good pub, this is a chance for me to get more visibility. And quite frankly, I hope that's going to work. If my political ideas don't drive everyone to the exits, so um,
No,
um, but uh, but I love working voices. I recently, so I'm like I say, I'm still starting out. I'm starting out slow. I've been working on training. I've got my website built. I've been increasing my presence on socials. I'm just now really starting to get into the digging into the research to find the appropriate people for direct marketing campaigns
Right.
to the non-broadcast, corporate learning, e-learning, medical narration types of production companies and whatnot to get onto their rosters. I have been signed by one agent. That's the wonderful Rob Mundy at VoiceBox Talents out of Toronto. And I have gone on roster with Kelly Majinski at the Voicecaster.
Oh, nice.
So they're starting to slowly send me some auditions, which is really encouraging. So I'm starting to get from the point of I've been laying the groundwork. Now it's time to really get to work. And the most recent thing is I worked with an author who wrote a very macabre short story. And she asked me to voice it. She's a friend. Okay, her husband was my wife's middle school crush. So, so kind of a family connection. So we recently finished it. It's called A Sympathy Arrangement. It's available on YouTube on the Strange Sundays channel. And it's a 27-minute multimedia telling of this horror story. And so hopefully we're getting a lot of views on that. And it's just the start of our little production company because she's got more ideas in the works. And we're hoping to go viral and launch from there. So
Hey, you're always so welcome on my show anytime, any place, anywhere. And if you know people, pass them my way. But the biggest thing is, I know we're gonna go over time real fast, then we can talk off the air. Here in the Keith Andrew Network, we like to keep it like in the 90s, the 2000s, where people are not so goddamn sensitive. Freedom of speech, self-expression, it's not hurting anybody. We're having a normal conversation. You're making a new friend, and we're just talking. And that's the biggest problem in today's world is we can't really communicate. Yes, you watch Bill Maher. Yes, you watch Jimmy Fallon. Yes, you watch Jimmy Kimmel, and they make jokes. It's real funny. But the truth is, it's sort of like if you can't connect and be like, it doesn't matter if you're white or black, it doesn't matter if you're Spanish, race has nothing to do with it. An asshole is always an asshole. But
that's true.
if you're not going to find common ground and communicate and work for your differences, that's the biggest problem.
Absolutely. Communication is everything. I mean, if we can talk to each other, we can figure things out. If we refuse to talk to each other, nothing gets fixed.
Absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up our
Sure.
interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege. This will be shared tomorrow. Actually, today's Wednesday. It will be shared Friday at 12 o'clock. If you're watching the replay at Friday at 12 o'clock. With that being said, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. The first 3 minutes will be available later on today because we are taping on a Wednesday. And with that being said, full episode will be on a Friday because we air episodes Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Taped every day, but we air them on certain days. Or I could be aired later on today. Depends on my mood. But with that being said, keep in touch. I'm looking forward to doing a part 2 with you. And until we meet again, I'll catch you later. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you so much, Keith. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with you.